Have you ever truly stopped, to look back at the miles you've travelled? The nights you sat awake, holding it all together when no one was watching? The mornings you got up, again, even though every bone in your body said, I can't. The appointments, the phone calls, the emergency, the tiny, quiet wins that no one else saw. Today, we're not just ticking boxes or patting ourselves on the back. We're honouring those moments as living proof. You are stronger than every doubt you've ever carried. You are braver than the hardest day you've ever faced. And you are building a story that deserves to be celebrated out loud with your whole heart. Because these milestones, they are not small. They are evidence that you are here, showing up, loving fiercely, and growing in ways you may not even realize yet. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Radiant Moment, a JandB podcast. I'm Michelle, your host, your fellow traveler on this winding path of caregiving, and the voice here to remind you your journey is worth celebrating. Before we go any further, let's create a pause together. If you feel comfortable, take a slow, steady breath in. Hold it gently and exhale with intention. Feel that? That is the space you rarely give yourself, the space to simply be. In our last episode, we explored the art of preserving your caregiving story, a living legacy of resilience, love, and the quiet moments that shape who we are. If you missed it, I encourage you to go back. It's a beautiful companion to today's conversation. And next time, we'll be diving into the power of gratitude, how the simple act of noticing what's good, even in chaos, can transform your experience from survival into something meaningful. But today is about you, about the milestones you have hurried past, about the moments that seem small but were actually monumental. About pausing long enough to say, I did that. I made it through and I am still here. Stay with me because by the end of this episode, you'll have new ways to honour your progress and perhaps see yourself with compassion and pride you always deserved. Let's begin. Let's talk about what really makes a milestone. Let's begin with a gentle question, one that might surprise you. When you hear the word milestone, what do you picture? Maybe it's the classic milestones, birthdays with balloons, weddings with toasts, graduations with caps thrown high in the air. The glossy picture-perfect moments that look great in photo albums. But here's the truth, no one says out loud. Caregiving milestones are different. They don't always come with applause or a greeting card. More often, they happen quietly, behind closed doors in the middle of the night, or after a long day when you thought you couldn't keep going, but you did. Let's shine a light on these unsung triumphs because they deserve to be seen. Let's talk about examples of caregiving milestones worth celebrating. The first time you advocate for your loved one's needs and didn't back down even when it was uncomfortable. That tiny flicker of progress, a word spoken after months of silence, a new food tried, a moment of connection you'd hoped for. The day you'd navigated a meltdown, a hospital admission, a major setback and found a way to keep showing up with love. The moment you finally said, I can't do this alone, and asked for help and set a boundary to protect your well-being. The countless ordinary days when you managed medications, appointments, meals, and emotions when it would have been easier to give up. These are the milestones that don't always get recognized, but they're the ones that show who you are. Resourceful, tenacious, courageous. And here's why naming them matters. When you name a milestone, you validate the visible labor it took to get there. You honor the journey that only you truly understand. So I'd like you to take a moment right now, if you can, and think back over the past year. What is one moment, just one you're proud of, that you've never fully acknowledged? Maybe it was small from the outside, but it felt monumental in your heart. Write it down. Name it, because when you name it, you give yourself permission to be proud, and you deserve that more than you know. Keep listening because next we'll explore how to create rituals and simple celebrations that mark these milestones in ways that feel true to you. Let me share one of my own milestones, one that, to an outsider, might have looked like nothing. It was a Thursday morning. We were running late for an appointment, one that already carried a lot of anxiety for one of my children. As I buckled him into the car, I could feel my own panic rising. I wanted to rush, I wanted to bark orders, to snap the way I sometimes do when I'm at my limit. But instead, I paused. I took a deep breath and I spoke gently. I said, I know this is hard. We're okay. We have time. And in that moment, everything shifted. He softened, I softened. We made it to the appointment, not in a frenzy, but with calm. That was a milestone for me, not because it was perfect, but because it was different, because it showed growth. I share this to remind you, your milestones don't have to be big or obvious to matter. They can be as simple as responding with patience instead of panic, and showing up again when you're exhausted. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear about one quiet milestone you've reached. Send me a message on Instagram at JandBInspired, or come and join our membership and private community. Your story could inspire someone who needs it. Now let's look at rituals that make milestones last. Here's something no one warned you about. Caregiving milestones are easy to miss, not because you don't care, but because the next crisis, the next appointment, the next fire to put out shows up before you've even had time to breathe. So how do we anchor these moments so they don't slip away? We create rituals, small, meaningful acts that carve out space to remember and honor the progress you're making. Rituals matter because a ritual is a signal to your mind and body. This moment counts. I am not just surviving, I am growing. It's how you teach yourself that even in chaos, there are victories worth witnessing. Here are a few ideas you can borrow, adapt, or reinvent. The milestone jar. Find a clear glass jar, nothing fancy, and keep it somewhere you see every day, like the kitchen bench or your bedside table. Every time something goes right, a skill learned, a meltdown navigated, a boundary set, jot it down on a slip of paper. On the days when you feel like nothing is working, pull out a few notes, read them out loud, let them remind you how far you've come. Here's my tip. You can also invite your partner, kids, or a supportive friend to add their observations. Sometimes others see progress we miss in ourselves. A candle of honor. Choose a candle, any candle, and dedicate it to moments of growth. Whenever you reach a milestone, light it. Watch the flame flicker and take 3 slow breaths. This simple ritual can become a grounding touchstone, a way to pause and really absorb your accomplishment before moving on. Milestone journals. Keep a special journal just for caregiving wins. You don't have to write pages, one line is enough. Today, I stayed calm when everything went sideways. This week, my loved one tried a new therapy and didn't give up. Include dates, photos, or mementos if you like. Over time, this journal becomes a living testament to your resilience. A celebration meal. Who says celebrations need to be elaborate? When you hit a milestone, big or small, mark it with a special meal. Order takeaway from your favorite place. Make pancakes for dinner. Share dessert first, just because. It's not about the food, it's about creating a moment of intention and joy. You're asking, why does this work? These rituals are more than traditions. They rewire your nervous system to notice progress, to savor joy, and to believe you are doing enough. They tell your brain, this matters, I matter. My effort is worth celebrating. So take a moment. What ritual speaks to you most? Which one feels doable in your life right now? If you try it, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a message on Instagram at JandBInspired or join our community at JandBOasis. Let's talk about sharing your wins without guilt. One of the hardest parts about celebrating caregiving milestones is that it can feel selfish, like you're asking for validation or praise. But here's the truth. Sharing your wins isn't self-centered, it's community building. Every time you say, I did this hard thing, you give someone else permission to believe they can too. Sending a text to one trusted friend who understands. telling your partner, your parent, or your child. Because every milestone shared becomes part of a bigger story, a story of resilience, hope, and connection. This week, I'd like to challenge you to share one caregiving win, no matter how small. Tag at JandBInspired so I can cheer you on and drop a comment. You deserve to be seen. Today, we took time to pause, to name the moments you might have rushed past in the swirl of everyday caregiving. Moments that are proof you are not just surviving this journey, you are transforming through it. You are building a legacy of courage, devotion, and quiet strength, one milestone at a time. As you go about your week, I invite you to carry this question with you. What is one small win I can celebrate today? Because even on the hardest days, you are still moving forward. And that progress, visible or not, is worth honouring. Next time on Radiant Moments, we'll explore something that has the power to shift everything. The role of gratitude in caregiving. We'll talk about how noticing what's working, no matter how small, can turn exhaustion into connection and challenges into moments of meaning. If you've ever wondered how to hold gratitude and grief at the same time, you won't want to miss it. If this episode spoke to you, I would love to hear your story. Share your milestones, big or small, on Instagram at JandBInspired, or come and join our membership and private community at JandB Oasis. Your reflections remind others they're not alone. And if you'd like a little extra encouragement, be sure to download your free toolkits in our show notes. This week's affirmation: I am proud of the milestones I've reached. My journey matters. Every step forward deserves to be seen, honored, and celebrated. Thank you for letting me walk alongside you today. Until next time, stay radiant, stay empowered, and keep shining your light bright.